Previously on TVSins.
Maybe I'll dance for you.
It was a teenage wedding and the old folks wished them well.
All she ever wanted was a home. Well, I'll certainly try to give her one.
This show exists. Also, main character is a classic film fan cliche. Also, sleeping during his girl Friday.
Dad?
I'm excited to watch this prequel to The Good Doctor and how the death of his father turned him to a life of healing. This is going to be so uplifting.
Mom! Mom, open the door!
Since this show is essentially 5 seasons of a kid with the most severe case of mother issues this side of Oedipus Rex, I hope you enjoy hearing the terms mother, mommy, or mom, because that's about every third word.
Norman?
Freddie Highmore is honestly quite good on this show, and while no one can ever replace Anthony Perkins, Highmore gives it as good a try as any. Does that mean I'm not going to laugh at this and send this ridiculous emotional outburst? No, it does not. Time jumps in a prequel feel like finding actual Oreos in a package of Who News. Maybe I'm just being ornery and a little dumb, but welcome to TVSins. There is no I in Seafarer, exactly like there is no I in Teen, except a little less inspirational. I'm not buying for a second that these ropes would be keeping this luggage tied down. This bag here has absolutely nothing keeping it from flying into the windshield on the first hard break.
Simple, elegant furnishings, open space, light, linen drapes, fresh peonies.
Fresh what now? Oh, fresh peonies, right, the flower. Because anyone without subtitles just thought you said fresh panties, which for the record is also important.
And this is my room.
Why would everything in this house still be under plastic except this bed, which for some reason is also completely made with pillows and everything? It's almost like the show needed Norma to be able to jump on it happily to show pure joy, more than the show needed any kind of decorative consistency. Norman, how's the peeping? How's the peeping, Norman? Normie.
You're new. What's your name? When did you move here, Norman Bates? Where? What house?
Jeez, oh creeps, why are high school girls on TV always so aggressively invasive? When I was in high school, the girls did stuff like attend class, or work on homework, or minded their own business. Also, don't you just hate it when hot chicks randomly hit on you at the bus stop, but you're in a relationship with your mother?
Do you have any brothers?
An older brother, but he doesn't live here. Just me and my mom.
Exposition through conversation with Mean Girls. Mean Girls position, which was oddly enough my college girlfriend's favorite role-playing position. It involved clamps and ice cubes. It wasn't my favorite. Taking your picture on someone else's phone does not automatically make it appear in contacts, and it for sure won't type your first name out.
I don't really play any sports.
What about track? You ever do any running?
Not as a sport, no.
Track team tryouts are today. Why don't you go talk to Coach Carpenter after school? I'll tell him that you're coming down.
No means no, Miss Watson, and I won't stand for your non-consensual extracurricular harassment.
Norman,
Does Keegan Connor Tracy think she's on a CW show with this too hot for teacher act? Because I don't put up with that nonsense on my A&E shows, ma'am.
We just bought a motel. I mean, how do you expect me to get it up and running without your help?
Especially since me just bought a zoo.
Go ahead, call the police. I go fishing with half of them.
Seems like Hugo Root just gave Norma the advantage. She'll just call the half of the police force that have no interest in fishing with him.
The last time the roofing was redone on this place was the 50s.
Let's talk about the time setting for this show. We firmly established that we are in modern day, despite this being a prequel to a story set in the 60s. And yet the show uses aesthetic choices from the original timeline, like the car, the clothes, or even the choice of film for the opening scene. My point is that this show seems to want to have its 60s cake and eat some CW teen drama too, and I'm not buying it.
I'm sure you would love to go, but we're in the middle of a lot of stuff.
Psychock block.
Why do I have to be careful?
Norman, don't lose your temper with me. I'm just looking out for you.
Was the pitch for this show, let's do Hitchcockian serial killer, but with a melodramatic soap opera style? Because this Days of Our Knives nonsense is really growing thin for me. This real-time sequence is the equivalent of 24 just being the various scenes when each of the characters have to go to the bathroom. It's f***ing exhausting and infuriating to have to sit through.
Oh my God, you're so cute. You actually thought we were gonna go study.
Here's the thing. Bradley was at school with Norman all day. Wouldn't it have been easier to set this plan up with him at school when he could have maybe already talked Norma into letting him go? Or at the very least understood this was not a hot library date and just a hot date. I mean, why is she surprised he didn't get it? Look at the way he's wearing that sweater with the shirt underneath it. Just look, Bradley. Apparently even Norman freaking Bates went to extravagantly programmed high school parties attended by hundreds of kids with a full sound setup and rooms dedicated to blacklight shenanigans. These types of parties don't exist anywhere but TV and movies, right? At my high school, we were lucky just to get 6 of us around a campfire with 1 2-liter of Mountain Dew to share. But sure, enjoy your live DJ, disco ball, laser lights, and multicolored orgy orbs. Based on what I've researched, and mostly just had spoiled on Twitter by people who hate me, there appears to be more marijuana storylines in 15 minutes of this show than there was in all 8 seasons of Weeds. Also, Weeds ran for 8 seasons, and since I was just reminded of it, Bates Motel gets to pay the sin toll.
Those dumb bitches leave you here by yourself.
Oddly enough, this is what happened to Nicola Peltz when she and her friends wandered onto the set of Transformers Age of Extinction, and her punishment was having to star in that movie.
You're like a beautiful, deep, still lake
in the middle of a concrete world.
Sure, if that lake grows up to skin people alive and wear it as clothing, the show better be careful, because if I've learned anything from the never-ending Joker hot takes, you aren't allowed to give empathy to psychopaths. And this one is based on one of the sickest serial killers to ever live. He's not even completely fictional. Discount Vincent D'Onofrio throws this table to the side, knocking this chair to the ground. But little did he know, it's a magically resetting table. Not 2 seconds later, it's back in its original position, with the chair still upright. Man, on most shows, when teenagers sneak out, they get grounded. But on Bates Motel, the mom gets attacked and almost killed by bum Johnson.
Who is gonna book a room in the murder motel?
Based on Psycho 2 and Psycho 3, quite a few people.
We're gonna take all the bed linens from every motel room and we're gonna use it to soak this all up.
Wouldn't using all the towels from every motel room make more sense?
Okay, but here you are, and here I am, and he's not gonna win this one.
The fact that this show works at all deserves a send-off, and the performance of Vera Farmiga ups that ante quite a bit, so I'm feeling a bit generous here.
We're gonna have to pull up the whole carpet.
Sure, but if that much blood soaked through in the few seconds he was sitting there, how is there not an orgy of evidence all the way down those stairs you dragged him down earlier? Not to mention, you have no idea how he got here, or if he told anyone where he's going. Plus, the police are about to conveniently stop by for maximum tension. All I'm saying is covering up a dead person is hard, and I feel like the rest of the show should be the Bates family dealing with their new life in prison.
Just wanted to make sure everything was all right here. We didn't know anybody had moved in yet.
Hey, it's Nestor Carbonell! He's the only actor whose performances are 100% eyebrow emoting.
Oh, your widow. Sorry about that.
I imagine Under the Dome here did a few takes of this line, so I'm super curious to see how bad the other ones were.
I just gotta jiggle it.
Probably not the most appropriate thing to say to people you just met as you exit a bathroom, but you do you, Richard Alpert. Really? I'm sure after his mom had him rip up the carpet in several different hotel rooms because of a single blood patch, that they completely missed this very obvious blood spatter on his white sneaker tip. Come on, BM! You could have still had your visible representation of guilt is carried into a public place cliche without making them seem this dumb.
Make sure you're done.
This is yet another attractive girl going out of her way to talk to this guy. I guess I wasn't weird and introverted enough in high school to get this kind of attention, so I'm jealous.
Are you okay?
More people ask Norman if he's okay, normal, weird, etc. in the first 40 minutes of this series than anyone would ever do to anyone else. We know he's going to turn into a serial killer, but no one else does. The writers of this show don't seem to understand that. Though this public notice is very helpful, I'm pretty sure it should have a date on it beyond just Wednesday. There are actually quite a few of those that happen through the year.
You know, when you were born, it was like God gave me a second chance.
Skip! Roll commercials.
We're going to send you to a place where people are so far out, they have wings.
Where are you going to live?
Raymond, why don't you pass the time by playing a little solitaire?
Honey, I'm so sorry.
This property has been in my family for over a century.
Look, I'm sorry I ruined your evening, but I mean, you could have seriously screwed things up for me.
You sure? Yeah. Okay.
She's got the crazy eyes.
Dude, the eyes, they're crazy.
Mother!
Mother! Oh, God! Mother! Blood! Blood!